personal favorite and everybody's present here, daffodils. Now my friends, Nimit, Ayush and Akshat are here who are going to recite a poem on daffodils written by William Wordsworth himself.
Good evening to one and all present here. Today, me, Nimit, Akshat and Ayush are going to recite a poem. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. When all at last I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continues as the stars that shines, and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretch like never-ending life, along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw idle glance, tossing their heads and sprightly dance. The waves beside them dance, but the outing sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a joking company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth have shown you have brought. For oft when I quote I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon my inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. Then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. Thank you. This one was
Now we have heard a poem which is regarding the beautiful season of autumn and spring, where you see beautiful flowers blooming around. But have you ever wondered what happens on a snowy evening or perhaps on a cold winter morning? Yes, here are our friends who are going to recite a poem written by Robert Frost, which is called Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening.
Good evening everyone present here. Today me, Aryan and Kriti are going to recite a poem on
Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening
by Robert Frost.
Whose words
These are, I know, his houses in the village too. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer, stop without a farmer's near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year.
He gives his harness bells a shake to check whether there's any mistake. The only sound that sweeps of the easy wind and a downy flake.
The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you.
Now that is a wonderful poem indeed. I don't think the fest just consists of some chat works and just perhaps some poems. Yes, something's missing. Here we have a speech which is going to be told by Krish on Steve Jobs.
Good evening to everyone present here. Today, me, Krish of 8th is going to speak on Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born on 24th February 1955. He was adopted by Paul and Carlo Jobs. He had one younger sister. During his high school, he went to HP plant where he met the owner of HP, William Hewlett. He asked William Hewlett, can he borrow some parts for his class project? William Hewlett was impressed from Steve Jobs and gave him the parts and also gave him an internship during summer. During this internship, he met a friend called Wozniak who was making his own computer. They both became great friends and started a company called Apple Inc. They redesigned their computer and which was called Apple II. Apple II sold at a very high price and was one of the best computers in the market. Then Steve designed another computer called Lisa, which was for the people who could not operate the Apple II properly. But it did not sell as good as the Apple II as it was really expensive. And he made other products like iPhones, iPads, iPods, etc. But the credit, instead of going to Wozniak and Steve, it only went to Steve. So Wozniak asked Steve to resign. Steve resigned and asked his former employees to help him create a new company called Next Computers. Next Computers was only focused on education. And it became a really good company over time. But Next was not the end of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs bought a small company called Pixar from the filmmaker George Lucas. It was specialized in graphics and animation. Then Apple thought that they should buy Next as it was of Steve Jobs. Apple bought Next at $400 million. Steve Jobs was the consultant of the CEO and he had a great idea in mind. If he could sell computers to individuals on stores. Why couldn't we sell it on telephones and internet? They started a website called Apple Store. In only about 3 weeks, Apple Store became one of the most commonly used websites to buy computers on the internet. Steve then was made the CEO of Apple, and the last product he designed was iPad 2. And he died because of cancer in 2001. Thank you.
Now I hope you must have enjoyed the fest we put up. I hope we covered each and every aspect which includes in English. I now request everybody to please be seated. She wants to speak. Sorry. Now Prisha is here who she would like to speak something about.
Here are some quotes of Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that is the question. All the world stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their extras, and one man is to stand plays many parts. As you like it, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art the Romeo? It was from Romeo and Juliet. Now is the winter of art disconnected. It was from your chart. In this adagio, which I see before me, the handle toward my hand. Macbeth. Some are born brave, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. It was in the book 12th night. Full falcon fight their father lies, of his bones and corner make. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that bought faith. But both suffer a sea change in something rich and strange. The Tempest. A man can die but once. How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a handless child. Thank you.
I now request everybody to please be seated. Outside.